how's it going? Mason Zero ASMR here with a video that was a bit requested, and that video is going to be showing off my movie collection. I personally do not own that many movies, so it's going to be pretty much a combination of my movies and my girlfriend's movies. So, I hope you enjoy. So, up first, we have a movie that I've never even heard of before, much less seen. It's one of my girlfriend's movies, and probably the only chick flick in this stack, at least I'm assuming it is. And it's called The Backup Plan, starring Jennifer Lopez and Alex O'Loughlin. I don't know anything about it, but judging from the back, it's some stupid romantic comedy about someone who gets a sperm donor or something and then ends up falling in love with someone and stuff. I don't know. Probably not very good, but who knows. Now on to an actually good movie. The Dark Knight Rises. I should mention I have a second microphone right there, which actually I'm going to move a little bit. Anyways, I have it there for tapping sounds. And listening to it doesn't really seem very loud. I'll turn it up a little bit. The microphone just isn't as loud, but oh well, let's see if we can do anything anyways. So, The Dark Knight Rises is one of my favorite movies. It's the third movie in the most recent Batman trilogy. If you haven't seen it, you totally should. It came out a few years ago. Batman and Bane, starring Christian Bale, amongst other people. So yeah, there's that. Let me know how you guys like this second microphone. I'm not sure if it's really doing too much. Next up we have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which is one of my girlfriend's movies that she has. And this must be an original version of it, because it's in that fancy sleeve and opens up and has discs inside of it. mixing board. It's also hard because the cord I'm using for my main microphone that I'm talking into is better, I guess. I don't know why, but I'm using a different kind of cable for the second microphone. It just doesn't, I guess it doesn't output as much power or something like that. I honestly have no idea. I'm not sure why it'd be different, but I use a normal 1/4-inch plug instead of a XLR plug, and I guess that makes all the difference. So I need to get another XLR female to XLR male instead of one end XLR and one end 1/4-inch. Oh well. Most of you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about. So anyways, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 is the next one. You may notice we skipped a few. Well, for some reason Sophia doesn't have all the movies here, so Deathly Hallows Part 1. It's just one disc. Next, we have another great movie, Inception, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. This is a great movie. Definitely, I don't know if it's one of my favorites, but it's probably top 10 or 15. It's a very, very interesting film. This is my girlfriend's, not mine, but I quite enjoy it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I love that DVD, The Maze. Now, probably one of my top 3 favorite movies, especially of not last year, I don't know when this came out. It's been a couple years. 2014, best movie of 2014. The Lego Movie. Man, 2014, time flies. Anyways, so we have the Lego Movie, which is wonderful. Oops. I love this movie. I love Lego. I love this movie. So here we have the DVD and special features. I was like, wait, is one of these Blu-ray? No, this one's just 2-disc. I couldn't remember because it had the download. Actually, it's kind of lame. I didn't realize this, but if you just buy a DVD that has a download code, it downloads in standard definition. If you want the HD, you have to buy the one with the Blu-ray. At least that's as far as I can tell. So that's fun. Oh well. It happens, I suppose. So anyways, the Lego Movie, if you have not seen it, is basically about a guy, Lego figure, I suppose, named Emmett. And he basically is the chosen one, and he's like as average as possible. But eventually he comes into his own, figures it out, and ends up saving the world. It has some great people. It has, Chris Pratt voices Emmett, the main character. There's Will Arnett, Will Ferrell, Morgan Freeman. It's crazy how many big names are in there. Liam Neeson. It's absolutely crazy. actually seen it. I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan, which is surprising to just about everyone because I love fantasy. I liked the movies well enough, but I didn't love them by any means. And then I haven't read the books. I started reading The Hobbit, and I just couldn't finish it because I just didn't like it. To each their own, I suppose. But I mean, they're not bad. I'm not saying anything bad about Lord of the Rings. They're very good movies, and I liked it. But yes, we have the first one here. 2 discs, which is so freaking massive. So yeah, that's Lord of the Rings, which I suppose is a classic. If you haven't seen it, you probably should. I probably should have watched it before I was 20. I think that's when I saw it. No, I think I was 19, but still, whatever. Now we have The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which is the second in the trilogy. And then finally, The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, the last of the trilogy. Next we have what is quite possibly my favorite movie ever. At the very least, the favorite movie of last year. Maybe that just hasn't quite worn off yet. Either way, Mad Max Fury Road. The first time I saw this, I loved it. The second time I saw it, I loved it. Have I seen it a third time? Maybe not. I don't watch movies multiple times very often, but this is one I don't mind watching over and over. I suppose. Kind of like The Dark Knight Rises, I don't mind watching that one a lot either. So this one I do have the Blu-ray and DVD combo of. I'll never get just a Blu-ray because I don't have anything that plays Blu-rays. So I just have it for the HD download. Even though I have a brand new computer, it didn't come with a disc drive. I had to buy one, and I do not play if it plays Blu-rays because I don't care. As long as I have my DVDs and digital, I'm good. I'm not a huge movie guy, as you may be able to tell. My modest collection. This request actually started off as a request for a video game show and tell, I suppose, but all my games are on Steam, so that wouldn't really work very well, if you know what I'm saying. I don't have any physical ones to show you guys, but I got some good feedback on my final video, my final show and tell video, so I guess some people like this kind of thing, which makes sense. This is a movie of my girlfriend's that it's actually a mini-series, as you can see. It's from 2005. Sounds like someone's doing some apartment outdoor maintenance outside. Hopefully it's not picking up too much. I think it's picking up a little bit though, but hopefully it's not too bad. The video's almost over, so worry not. Next up is Pacific Rim, which is a very, very good movie about giant robots fighting giant aliens, and what's better than that? If you haven't seen that, you totally should, especially if you're a fan of action and robots. Next, another great movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Definitely a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan. I even like the ones that weren't as good. They're okay. Even the weird last one that nobody really remembers. Anyways, Curse of the Black Pearl, starring Johnny Depp. How can you go wrong? I've had this DVD for quite a long time. Basically since the movie came out on DVD, I've had this one. Which was... man, how old is this? 2003. Wow. 2003 was a long time ago. Is this movie really 13 years old now? Dang. So yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean is very good, which is why I, of course, have a second one. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, once again, starring Johnny Depp. And special appearance by Cthulhu. I mean, Davy Jones. Also known as Pirates of the Caribbean 2, I've Got a Jar of Dirt. Classic scene. Great movie. Another of my girlfriend's movies, She's the Man, starring Amanda Bynes, which I have to mention was not bad at all. If I remember the premise correctly, basically she disguises herself as her brother, but then falls in love with this dude, and things get weird, because she is trying to be disguised as a man. So, it's pretty good for a sort of chick flick. It's not necessarily too much of a chick flick. Next we have The Social Network, which is the movie about Facebook and its formation, and I have no idea how this movie case works. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. See, I have actually not seen this movie. I sort of watched it once. But that was in freshman year of college, and I was hanging out with a bunch of friends, just like talking most of the time, and I wasn't really watching the movie. So I don't really know what happened in it, but I heard that it was pretty good. So I'll take everyone's word for it. Alright, on to the last few movies. We have Star Wars, the prequel trilogy, episodes 1 through 3, the not good ones. Episode 3 is okay, 1 and 2 are not, but I wanted to have the collection of all 6, and you'll see the other 3 in a second. So we have all 3 of the movies on Blu-ray and on DVD. Again, the whole Blu-ray DVD thing I mentioned, I can't play Blu-rays at the moment. Not until everything standardizes into Blu-rays will I do that. So, I don't know how you feel about Star Wars, but Star Wars is probably my favorite no surprise that The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. I think that's a lot of people's favorites. I do like Episode 3 quite a bit. I think it was good. 1 and 2 were obviously the worst, and I wasn't super thrilled about Episode 7. It was kind of just, it wasn't very original, and the camera work was not what it should be. Star Wars is a tiny, tiny short rant about film. Star Wars, the classic Star Wars, there's lots of way zoomed out scenes where you can sort of see the setting. That wasn't really in The Force Awakens. Nothing like that. It was all very close in, camera moving really fast. That's not how Star Wars has been filmed in the past. The style, it felt like Star Trek, not necessarily because of the way the movie was done, but just the way it was filmed. It felt like the newer Star Trek movies that J.J. Abrams has made. It didn't feel like Star Wars. It was still a fine movie, it just wasn't a good Star Wars movie in my opinion. Anyways, moving on. We have Star Wars, the original trilogy, back when it was all better. Although I have to mention I do like the Clone Wars animated series. I still have a season left to watch on Netflix, but I like it very much. So we have A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. My dad always likes to tell me how A New Hope was not called A New Hope. At the beginning it was just called Star Wars. Back in ye old days. Last but not least, we have one movie that is actually 7. It is my girlfriend's collection of Star Trek original movies. These are all... Oh, sorry, I bumped the mic there. These are all 7 of the original series Star Trek movies, 1 through 7. We have Star Trek the Motion Picture, Star Trek the Wrath of Khan, The Search for Spock, The Voyage Home, The Final Frontier, The Undiscovered Country, and The Captain's Summit. I have not seen all of them. I think she might have watched them, but I'm not positive. But Star Trek is good too. I don't like it as much as Star Wars, but it's good. I like Star Wars because they have epic space battles. Star Trek just doesn't really do that, which is fine. But I like the scale Star Wars is usually on. Like this super close up of my arm hair. So it's funny, I actually recorded this video yesterday, or the day before. I filmed this one, and 5 minutes in, the microphone stopped working, and I didn't realize it because I usually don't monitor the sound, and I really should do that on longer videos. And it's funny because in that video, I read the backs of all the movies, and I didn't do that this time, because I felt like tapping would be a little better, and the video is almost as long as it was when I recorded it yesterday. So, I hope that you enjoy the length. So thank you guys all for watching. If you're still awake, which I hope that you aren't, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how you liked the video. There are plenty more to come. I have plenty of magic videos planned, and I have a whole bunch of other videos planned that I would like to do at some point. So look forward to that. I know I am. As always,